Hello YouTube and welcome. My name is Mark Alexa and thank you again for joining me on this journey into pentesting. Um, Today I will be sharing with you how to make or how to write up a simple port scan in Python. And the reason why I want to share this with you is because it's one of those essentials, one of those fundamentals that every beginning pentester needs to have under his belt, so to speak. Because being able to just to whip up a simple port scan is just so fundamental. Yeah, it's one of those things that when when somebody bursts into your bedroom in the middle of the night and they proclaim, they scream, "Port scanner!" You should be able to just get straight up on your feet and be able to write up a port scanner in the matter of like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it's so essential, and that's why I decided to share it with you. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for our port scanner to work, we are gonna need just a couple of libraries. So we're gonna need the socket library, we're gonna need the threading library, and we're gonna need the sys. And the sys we will need just really when there's like an exception, sys will be used just to exit out of it really. So what I will do, I will just separate the port scanner into two different functions. The first function will be scan port, and it will take in two arguments. It will get the host and it will get the port. What I will do next is I will create the socket object. I will name it just sock. You can name it whatever you want. It can be S, it can be even socket or BJ for object if you like, but I will just go with sock. Yeah, and I will create the object socket, and I will need to specify AFI in that. And here what I'm doing is I'm explicitly specifying sock, it's the sock stream, which indicates TCP protocol. If you will be working with UDP, you will have to specify dgram, which is a UDP. But in this case, we are doing port scanner for TCP ports, so we are going with stream like that. Next, what we want to do is set certain timeout. Yeah, because sometimes those ports, they take a little bit longer to respond to our scan, and we don't want that. We don't want to get hung up on it. So we want to set timeout, and for the sake of efficiency, for the sake of speed, I will just leave it on 1 second. Next, what we want to do, we want to actually check if we have a connection on that port. So try, and we do sock connect x, and connect x takes a tuple, and the tuple is the host, not host, and port. And we need to check if it's this is actually an if statement. So let me just fix it here. And we need to check if the result is 0. We need to be careful here, yeah, because what we can't do is this. We can't do just that. Yeah, just check for the result, and if basically, because this what it does, it will only check if we got any result at all, like if we actually got any sort of response. But that's not good enough, because what we need is the result to be 0, which indicates that we actually have a connection, that there is like a TCP handshake, the freeway handshake done, it has been established. And if you leave it just like this, it could be any other response. It could be one, not one, because that actually indicates that the port is closed, but there are other numbers that we could be getting, and the Python code would just falsely consider it as an open port. We don't want that. We want to be super explicit, so 0, which indicates open port. Okay, and next, if we actually getting 0 on this method, then we will print out port, that port is open. Set up like that, and what we will do, we will just close the socket. And since we are in a try except statement, I should probably put the except statement as well. Except exception as E, just in case something goes wrong. And I will do just print. I will just we need to know like what went wrong there. So error, and I will just print it out like this. That, and finally we will just no matter what, we will close the socket object. Alrighty, and next what we need to do is create a main function. Bear in mind that a simple port scanner with a Python object can be write up many different ways. I just found this very succinct, and I find it very efficient. Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to follow a line by line what I'm doing here. There are different ways to write it up, but I found this to be super efficient, relatively fast, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't yeah. So, and here what we need to do is we need to create threads list, because what we'll be doing here is we'll be creating multiple threads concurrently, that it will actually speed up the scanning process. And I will just let people know, but before I do that, let me just do, let's just the user, or let's just the person, let them input what kind of host, or let them input the host we want to scan. So host input, enter host to scan, like that. For the sake of completeness, I will just check if what they input is actually valid, because let's first face it, user input isn't always trustworthy. Okay, so we can do it with socket get host by name, and we just pass in that host. If for some reason there's something wrong with it, we won't get some kind of response, some kind of reaction. So error, and it's going to be invalid host exiting, like that, and we want to exit out of it. Okay, that's for the housekeeping, so to speak. And next we've got this threads list, and we'll start. We can just give some kind of feedback in a terminal for the user. So starting to scan host, like that. I think I missed the F on the start, at the start of the F string. Yep, that's what makes it F string, right? There's that, and we can just start. So since we will be actually scanning the well-known ports from 1 to 1024, we need to put that scan into a for loop. Yep, so let's do it. So for port in range 1, and because we don't want we want to start from 1, not from 0. It's pointless to start from 0. So 1025, which makes it, 25, which makes it 1025 exclusive. Yep, is that, and we create a thread, if I can spell right, thread target. We will target that scan port function we created above, and we need to pass in some arguments, right? So we need to pass in that host and that port, like that. Next, what we need to do, we need to actually add that thread object into the list of other threads. So threads, append thread, and we will start that particular thread, like that. The next It's optional. It's not necessary, but it is a it is a best practice. Yeah, because if we have like 200 or 300 of threads running concurrently, it could actually affect the performance of the scan itself. Yeah, so we can do, for best practice, what we can do is just limit the number of threads running concurrently, and we can do it like this: threads, if it's greater or equal to 100. What we want to do, we want to just go through all those threads for thread in threads, and we want them to finish at once, to join, and we will just clear everything that's in the threads list, like that. And we will jump out of that for loop. Next, what we need to do is we want to go over those threads again, and we want to join all of them. We want to make sure that all those threads actually finish. Join, and the last, we will just print out scan is, if I can spell, scan is now finished, like that. And we will just wrap it up with the famous statement at the bottom of almost all Python files. If is main, like that. And we will just start the main function, like that. Okay, save it, and we can, let me just double check. Yep, my vulnerable application, my vulnerable server is running. So let me just check if what we have done here, if it actually works. It should work. So Python 3 simple port scanner, and it's 172.16.44, and I believe it was 139. Let me just double check. And if config, yes, it's 44.139. That's correct. Yeah. There it is. So we've got 21, which is FTP, 22 SSH, 23, I think that's telnet, 25 SMTP. So all those well-known ports, they're all open. Yeah, 80, that's HTTP. And I find it quite interesting that for HTTPS isn't open. Okay, but yeah, that's our simple port scanner. Okay, so that was our simple port scanner. The reason why I keep saying simple port scanner, because it was rather simple and it's not very sophisticated. Like you will find that, for example, Nmap scanners, they give you more features, they give you more options as well. Like for example, you can actually perform like a stealth scan, which is very much recommended, especially if you are running an assessment or port scan on actual client services. Yeah, because if you don't use a stealth SYN scan, you can actually get detected by the IT teams and get blocked. Your IP can actually get blocked, and it will just bring you extra problems, right? And you've got like a different flags that Nmap actually allows you to use that you can actually really implement with a simple socket library. The Python socket library is really like this bare minimum, or maybe that's not the right way to put it. It's just it's rather simple, not very sophisticated. It will do the job, but in some cases, like I wouldn't really use it against like a real life services. because otherwise because you will get blocked, I think. Yeah, so this scanner is good like if you are in your testing environment, if you are just playing around with your virtual machines at home. That will be completely fine, and it will work for you. Yeah, and like I said, port scanner is one of those fundamentals, one of those essentials. Yeah, it's like it's a little bit like a carpenter wouldn't have his saw, or carpenter wouldn't have his or tool belt with a hammer and nails, right? That's I definitely hope I used the analogy right. Yeah, so that is that, and yeah, in terms of just to share my experience a little bit for the last week or so, I ran into an like a challenge on Hack the Box, and it is the privilege escalation module, and I find it quite challenging. Yeah, I think there were certain stages of that module, certain stages of that challenge that really like I'm kind of struggling with. Yeah, I don't know exactly. Like I have an idea which angle to attack that challenge. Yeah, I just need to push through. Really give it some time. So that's just something I would like to share with you guys. And I've got a small announcement as well. Yeah, because I don't want to be doing pen testing for the sake of pen testing. It's not like I'm doing just for the fun of it. Yeah, and actually what I will be changing my channel into is I will be actually making more about online child safety. Yeah, because online child safety is a topic that's really dear to my heart, and so over time, gradually, you will see more online child safety content. Yeah, so it's basically will be like a combination of cybersecurity, pen testing, and online child safety. So I'm basically blending these two topics together. And if you are interested in this, if you are interested in how it can be actually pen testing used for the sake of online child safety, just stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, and you will see how things go. This is very much like this exploration phase for me, and I'm just enjoying the process, really. Yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy the journey, and I'm super stoked. I'm super excited to have you on this channel as well. To just you can share your experience as well. You can share like your struggles with the first beginnings of pen testing. This is not just about me. Yeah, I think I'm sort of like building this community here, and I would love to hear your opinions. I would like to hear your feedback. If there's something that you particularly like about what I'm doing, share the comment below. If there's something that you don't particularly like, you can again share it as a comment down below. And I'm absolutely open to constructive criticism. Yeah, so that's how people learn, that's how people grow, that's how people improve. So if you have something that will help me improve the way I deliver this channel, feel free to leave it down below. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.